Next! This rapper's going viral for being too fat, Dave Blunt's. Can't put down the cup. Can't put down the cup. That's him. Everybody knows him. Dave Blunt's.
Rappers endanger their lives in a lot of ways. Some of them are embedded in the streets, while others have crippling addictions to drugs and alcohol, putting them in a constant risk of overdosing. But for Dave Blunt's, the situation is a little different. Because even though he claims that he can't put down the cup, that's just one of the dangers that's facing him. While the walk could be a problem, it's his waistline that really has people wondering if there's a way back.
I just never understand the level of eating it requires to get that large. And this is not fat shaming. Dude, I genuinely say that everybody should always be proud of their own body, but you should also try to be a healthy individual, right? You could recognize that you need to change your weight for your own health. And outside of that, whatever, do whatever you want. But he's at the level where if he doesn't lose weight, he'll die in 10 years, right? And he's like 24, right? And I hope he loses weight, right? And I think he's trying to, but at the same time, when you're like 500 plus pounds, you have to be eating over 6,000 calories like every day. He's like 24. Let me actually look him up. He's 23. He's a year older than me. Like, bro. And when you weigh that much, like, you could have, like, irreversible damage if he doesn't lose the weight. I thought he was, like, 30. Dude, no, if that's the thing is, like, you also don't see people that big that are, like, over 40 because they just die. Obviously, the average person has heart problems, like, at the age of 65. But if you have that much weight on your body, like, it's just going to kill you. Like, it's literally just going to kill you.
Recently, Iowa-based rapper Dave Blunt has been making moves. Recently, he's appeared on prominent platforms like On The Radar and has steadily dropped 7 projects over the course of the past year. And
I don't know any of his other songs. Like, and I'm not trying to, like, diss his music, but I think a lot of people, like, hate watch him, right? And I think that's also probably mentally taxing on him, knowing that, like, a lot of the people that are either going to his concerts or, like, listening to his music are, like, either making fun of him or, like, just looking at him in a kind of fascination way rather than actually enjoying the songs.
Gradually, his buzz has been building, with fans enjoying his high-pitched delivery and melodic style.
But it's just sad. Like, he's 23. He had to wheel himself out on an oxygen tank. And he had to sit on a couch when he was performing. Recently, I saw one where he stood the whole time and people were cheering, and I think that's good because that's, like, showing some form of, like, him trying to get better. But, yeah, like, if you're performing at a concert, you shouldn't have to sit down.
But the attention he was getting back then doesn't compare to the chaos that surrounds him now. Because after he performed his first ever show, people couldn't believe what they were seeing. Immediately, Blunt shocked everyone with the sheer size of him. And the fact that he couldn't even stand up the whole performance.
Whenever I see somebody that's this overweight, I always just imagine, like, he has the same skeletal structure as me. Like, you don't got, like, thick bones, right? Like, I mean, maybe, like, if you're just a big dude, like, you're taller or something, you might have, like, slightly thicker bones. But it's genuinely just, like, you have the same skeletal structure as me, but with 400 pounds more.
Social media, everyone had jokes. One user said the notorious BMI. Others referred to him as the last chairbender and claimed, fuck the cup, but he gotta put the plate down. He was even dunked on by fitness influencers like Bradley Martin, who could barely understand how someone of that size exists. Even unflattering.
I mean, I'm agreeing on that. I would not say Bradley Martin is dunking on him. If he was being rude, that's one thing. But, like, it is. Have you ever watched My 600 Pound Life? I was watching episodes of that the other day, and, like, some of those people are so large that it's other people inhibiting. Like, Dave Blunt can still move around, right? He's getting his own food. He's living his own life. But when it's somebody that's, like, this big, and I'm not making fun of him. This is just, I think TLC is kind of a fucked up TV show because I think they kind of, like, showcase people as freaks, and they kind of write it off as, like, oh, this is sad, we're going to try and help them. But they're also, like, going into these people's homes and filming them and being like, you're fat as shit. And that's, like, the content. But, like when they're this big and he can't move and he can't get out of his bed and they have to sponge bathe him, that's, like, at that point, you're that big, maybe to your own doing. But then people are giving you food, right? Like, you can't move, So, like, people are promoting you being fat by giving you food. Like, if I had a family member that was that fucking fat, I would not give you food, right? Like, I would give you food, but I would not give you, like, bad food. I would be giving you, like, salads and vegetables and base proteins. I would give you a 2,000-calorie diet, right? But if you're that big, you're maintaining that weight because your family members are giving you 10,000 calories a day, right?
Comparing.
And at that point, it's on them. And I see those shows, and it's always, like, the mom or the dad, and they're like, well, I don't know what else to do. Timmy just loves eating. I'm like, dude, you're killing your son, right? I know it's hard, right? And you're like the one that has to take care of him, and you're doing a good job for doing that. But like the part of the reason he's dying is because you're agreeing to his like pout fits where he's like, I want food, and then you cave, right? Like you just got to put your foot down. Like, he can't move. He's not going to get up and go grab his own fucking food. Take his phone, right? So he doesn't fucking Uber Eats some shit.
Bro, he got to go on a diet for real. I didn't know he was that fat. You couldn't even tell he was that fat in the radar thing. This guy looks like Jabba the Hutt, bro.
Okay, see, this is fatphobic. See, this is that's fucked.
It's kind of... Anyways. All right.
Left alarmed by what they had seen, hip-hop commentators scrambled.
Or like when I don't even know their name. And see, this is what's fucked up about it, is I don't even know their name. Gorlock the Destroyer. I don't know her name, right? But that's what people call them, right? Like that's like fatphobic. It might be fatphobic, but it's true. I mean, yeah, but it's still something where it's like, it's just rude, you know? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be like, you know, you look like Jabba the Hutt.
To give their audiences the scoop on Dave, all the while remaining in disbelief over the situation that he's in at such a young age.
Oh, he's a lean sipper. How much I think he weigh? About like 300? Nah.
300, bro. 550. 556, right? No.
About 600 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about him in terms of his come up story. I'm guessing he just got on with that one song. I think once he's gotten past that very small phase of, okay, he's new, he's going to want to make sure his health is good. And if his health is good, now granted, I think people would look at just like his size and be like, yo, bro, we can't lie to you and say this is any type of healthy weight, brother. You look more than morbidly obese, right?
Although it seems like he appeared overnight, the Davenport MC has actually been working towards this for a long time. In a recent interview, he revealed that he's actually been cooking in the studio for 6 years now. Everybody told me I was crazy. You know, I felt like Chicken Little, but now I really feel like Chicken Little because the sky is really falling. You know what I'm saying? After such a long time.
I have no idea what he's saying. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? I don't even know. What is he in? Is that like an analogy, like of something going wrong? Chicken Little is a movie. I know Chicken Little is a movie, you fuck. That's the... Okay, Chicken Little's a movie and the sky falls in the fucking Chicken Little movie. Now explain the analogy that Dave Blunt just gave in this interview. Oh, well, you see, Chicken Little's a movie. Okay, yeah, Chicken Little's a movie. Okay, and?
After such a long time attempting to reach big audiences, Dave should be ecstatic about the position that he's currently in. But between the public's reaction to him and some persistent health issues, things likely aren't panning out the way that he hoped they would. Because for most people who've recently discovered him, the conversation is less about whether he has the talent to be a future star, but if he's going to live to see the age of 30. As footage of his inaugural live show went wild online, he was unsurprisingly in for a lot of comments about his rotund look. But while Dave must have assumed that the internet would have had a field...
I mean, it's like the same shit as, fuck, what was his name? I listen to his fucking music all the time. Big Pun. Big Pun was, I mean, like before our time. But Big Pun was another rapper that was fucking huge. Like a very large guy. Like this is Big Pun. Somebody said Rod Wave. Yeah, I mean, Big X the Plug is a big dude, but Big X the Plug isn't like Dave Blunt's big. Big Pun, I'm pretty sure died. Cause of death. Hold up. Yeah, Big Pun died of a heart attack and weighed 698 pounds. And he died when he was 28. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to diss, like, fucking Dave Blunt's here. Big Pun's a good-ass fucking rapper, right? Like, Big Pun made some really good songs. But the problem is, like, Dave Blunt's is going down the same fucking path, right? Like, Big Pun was big for, like, 4 years and died in 2000 because he was so big that he had a fucking heart attack. So being on an oxygen fucking tank at 23 is bad. Like, y'all know Big Pun. I play his songs on fucking stream. Like, he's a good fucking rapper. But it's just like, You know, he gained a lot of weight and then died.
One thing that he likely didn't expect was that a hip-hop legend would be taking shots at him. Under a video of Dave performing, Snoop Dogg came out of nowhere to give him some unsolicited advice. Well, put down the chicken wings and the Tata chips, nephew, and that chair gonna break soon. Get to the end of the cup. Clearly, this assessment from Snoop struck a chord with Dave because soon he took to Instagram to tell the dog.
I don't know. I feel like Snoop should Snoop could as this kid's a rapper, right? He's a young guy. Yeah, he's a year older than me, but he's a young dude that's getting success in the rap world. And people are really recognizing that he's fucking overweight. If like some role model-esque guys like Snoop Dogg to him, like genuinely went, hey man, like you really need to lose weight, and were like respectful about it, I think he would lose it. But then now it's kind of like that situation where your hero's an asshole to you and you're just gonna be like, fuck you, and then now you're not gonna even try and get help.
And to clap back at Snoop for playing a sexual abuser in the hood classic Baby Boy. I'm actually a very good guy. I take care of my family, I put my friends into positions to win, and I'm chasing my dreams every day. Despite his best efforts, Dave couldn't put this behind him or leave it at that. So he took a bold step of dissing Snoop from the stage at Juice WRLD Day.
Hey, Chicago, do y'all have a problem with me sitting down on this stage? Exactly. Get the off my head, Snoop Dogg.
Right off the bat, he tried to explain why he
I mean, I wouldn't say I have a problem with it, but bro, it's like, I feel like half of the people in the crowd said yes, by the way. But I don't know, dude. Like, at that big of a weight, like...
And as far as the Snoop Dogg shit, yeah, I mean, that's real. You know, I had got on the first altercation we had, I got on the stage and he said, you know, put down the chips, put down the all that other shit. And I'm just like, my whole thing about that, why I didn't like that was because that was a very...
Yeah, but here's the problem is Snoop Dogg doesn't give a fuck. Snoop Dogg commented that, laughed, and then threw down his phone, and probably hasn't even seen the video of Dave Blunt's dissing him on stage, right? Like, you're causing drama with a guy that's like a fucking bajillionaire, right? Like, Snoop Dogg's rich as shit and very popular, right? It's not, like, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, Snoop Dogg's better than everybody, but it's also just, like, I don't want to say Dave Blunt should just let it roll off his back, but just fucking ignore him, right? Like, be like, hey, yeah, I need to lose weight, but fuck you, you're a bitch, and then just not respond outside of that.
very proud moment. You know, that was my first time performing, and I didn't do nothing to nobody. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just...
Yeah, I think he was just getting attacked, and that's why, that's why it's I put it in the realm of like fat phobia and like, hey, like they're just making fun of him because he's fat. And people will say like, yeah, bullying works, and in some ways yeah, there are people that got bullied for being overweight and then lost the weight and they're happier because of it. But there's also people that get bullied for being overweight and then eat to cope with it and get more fat and then die.
And so for me to get online the next day and to see people shame me for that, I don't necessarily feel like that's cool.
And for his part, Snoop actually laughed it off.
That was funny. Go ahead, little homie. I mean, big homie. Do your thing, cuz. I ain't fucking with you. Have your fun. I apologize to this nigga. He's still going off on me, cuz. I must be getting old.
But when you realize that Dave wasn't just sitting down again during this performance, but was literally hooked up to an oxygen tank while doing it, it's no wonder why the internet completely backed Snoop and agreed that he had a valid point.
Because like y'all might not notice this, like he
Yeah, Snoop was mean, but he's right. Yeah, Dave Blunt is extremely overweight.
couldn't even hold his breath up long enough to sing his own song. Then like this girl came on whenever she realized that. You know, Snoop Dogg wants to call him a fat ass. Snoop Dogg's right. Snoop Dogg at the end of the day, he's like 50.
And he has to get wheeled out. I think a big problem too is like, you know, when you go grocery shopping and they have those like carts for people that can't walk so they can like drive around and pick up groceries. I feel like those primarily are for people that like genuinely can't walk or they're really old and they have like health problems. But I feel like whenever I see somebody in those, they're extremely obese. Like, and maybe they're obese because of other problems they have and they can't get exercise or other things. But I don't know. I feel like it promotes people being overweight because it accommodates that lifestyle. And obviously you need to accommodate people that have to, you know, obviously grocery shop and stuff, but it also promotes them being that overweight to where it's like, hey, they don't even need to walk around to shop for their groceries. They're going to like sit in a chair and drive around, right? Sometimes it's like needed, But a lot of the time it's like, fuck, man. Like the mobility scooters are just like overused. And then it's just like it makes them feel more comfortable to be that heavy because their life isn't as hard, right? But if you didn't have those and they had to walk around the grocery store and they were like, damn, I can't even fucking walk around the grocery store to get my food, I don't know if that would help motivate them to lose weight. But yeah, it's getting too normalized. It's especially in the United States. It is getting so, dude. And if you look this up, I don't want to say that social media did this. The prevalence of obesity in U.S. adults 20 and over is 41.9%. Almost half of American adults are obese. And it's so normalized to be like really fat, right? And that's the one thing that I'll say on social media is like some people are offended by the word fat. And it's like if you say it in a mean way and you're like, you're fucking fat, that's different. But if it's just like, yeah, you're fat, like it's fat, right? Like you're overweight, right? You're overweight. You're very overweight. Like it's just a common term to use, I guess. And dude, 42% of the U.S. being that overweight and 9.2% of the United States American adults being severely obese. 100 million American adults have obesity. That's out of 380 million Americans. 22 million have severe obesity. And that's just normal, right? Like for us. Like you walk in public, like that's a, and I haven't been to that many countries, but like I did not see, when I was in Iceland, I maybe saw 3 fat people the entire week that I was there. If I walk out in the US and I'm just in the grocery store or in a Walmart, it's like 1 and 2 are like people over 350 pounds. That's why also it's a culture shock for people that come over here. Like there are very, very fat people everywhere. And you don't usually see the severely obese people because they don't leave their house. But it's like, oh my God, this is a massive problem in the US. And we're not doing anything about it. I'm not worried for me because I'm going to maintain the weight that I need in like health. But like we have to teach our kids. There should be classes on this shit. Somebody said RFK will help. I know that is actually something that he cares about, right? That's a big fucking problem. That even kids, bro, like people like because the parents are overweight and then they're obese. And so they're giving their kid the same diet they're eating. And now their kid's starting out life. Like I'm assuming Dave Blunt has always been overweight. He's probably been a guy that's always been heavy, right? And that's most people that get 600 pounds were never like fit athletes in high school. They always kind of have always been overweight and have just constantly gone heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And that's a problem, dude. Like, I don't know, man. It's a food addiction and it's more normalized than like nicotine and alcohol addiction. Like food addiction in the US is like one of the biggest problems that we have in terms of like hurting the health of our people, and no one cares.
He even woke up catching strays from comedian Godfrey, who had Snoop's back.
This is not me putting him down, but I think Snoop Dogg was actually giving a f. Snoop's gonna say it his way. What did you want Snoop to go, hey, sweetheart, you gotta no, it's Snoop, man. Snoop put some laughing.
Yeah, there are people that are just very blunt.
Emojis there. Actually, he's paying attention to you. He's trying to help you out. That's the way he's trying to help you out. It's this woke society now, this so-called fat shaming that is keeping people in bad health. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say Snoop's like was way over the line, but there are people that like genuinely harass fat people on the internet. And I think there's a difference between that and maybe poking a bit of fun.
Great for the guy. Let's keep it 100. You're on stage with an oxygen tank, sir.
I will say it is weird, right? Y'all make fun of me for having a big forehead and shit like that. But like, I don't know. I think it's different. Like it's weird that it's acceptable to make fun of people's appearances for certain things of like, hey, you're balding. Hey, you have a big head. Hey, you're short. Shit that like you can't control. But then it's like, hey, you're like that. People do make that point. And sometimes I think people make that point and then they go, okay, well, I can be an asshole. And I disagree with that. But like, there are people on the internet that get flamed for being short and like having or having a big forehead or being bald or being like, having bad facial structure. And it's like, okay, that's okay to do. But the second that person turns around and goes, you're fat as shit, like now whoa. And the biggest thing that pisses me off is motherfuckers that make fun of people for being too skinny, right? I've seen so many people that are overweight that will diss and like make fun of people that are dealing with anorexia or eating problems, and they have problems gaining weight, right? Coming from somebody that used to be way too thin, right? And now I have stretch marks because when I was a freshman in high school, I made myself fucking eat and forced myself every day to fucking eat so I would gain 25, 30 fucking pounds. And those people can go, you need a burger. You need a burger. And then the second you turn around and go, bitch, you need a fucking salad, right? Then that person go, what a fucking... It's like, shut the fuck up, okay? Like, if you're going to make fun of somebody for being too skinny, I will say you should be able to say something about them.
When you say get off your dick, let's be honest. Can you find it?
At the moment, it seems like all of the press he's been getting is a double-edged sword. Because while he's reaching new milestones in his career, there's also a whole subreddit dedicated to mocking him rather than being made out of genuine fandom. Is there a human being long enough to make it through Dave's ass cheek tunnel? Besides that, Dave also can't do an interview without his weight coming up as one of the main topics.
I'm like, yo, this dude's voice is in.
Because that's part of the reason he's popular. I'm not trying to be mean. If Dave Bluntz was 160 pounds, he probably wouldn't be that big, fame-wise, right? Like, certain random things make you stand out on social media, and part of the reason he's getting all this clout is because he's fat.
Angelic, it's crisp. It sounds 300 pounds lighter.
Right.
I didn't know it was you.
What do you mean 300 pounds light? How do you sound skinny?
Well, you just sound angelic. You just sound like...
I'm trying to see if I should be offended by that or not.
Technically, you shouldn't, I don't think, because that just means that you're able to sound so much better than you look.
I mean, why are we also going on a fucking podcast with this guy? I don't know who this dude is, but like, dude, everybody and their fucking mom has a podcast. Like, fuck, what is with everybody fucking just going, oh, I'm going to go on this podcast. Fuck it. Fuck podcast, bro. I'll go on podcasts of people that I fucking watch and, like, know about, like Chuckle Sandwich or some shit. Like, I've gone on those. Bro, fuck going on some dumbass podcast or some dude that makes, like, financial advice content.
Because across the board, they are more interested in his condition than anything else.
In one of your songs, you said every time you fly, you have to buy 2 seats.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's real. Yeah, that's real. I gotta take 2 seats. Yeah, man. That shit is.
I was wondering, like,
I respect that though, because I have had times, and I know there's certain airlines that have like weight plus programs or something like that, but it's not mean. It's genuinely, it is a problem. If you're somebody that weighs 400 pounds and you buy 1 ticket on a plane, you can't put the arm thing down and you're half sitting in my chair, right? Like, I don't know you, right? I don't understand your struggle, but that also is going to bother me because it's ruining my experience as a paying customer that's losing half of my seat because you're in half of my seat, right? Like, that is something where I wonder if they make them pay 2 seats.
Like, where do you shop at to get your clothes and shit?
Mainly, like, places online is where I get my clothes. Hell yeah.
You got like a plug and shit that lace you.
Yeah, hell yeah,
I see you always got the black and gray sweatsuit on.
Yeah, man.
Kind of became like your image.
I mean, this is the only clothes that I really have.
Considering how long he's been aspiring to do this, it's obvious that music matters immensely to Dave. He's even described it as a toxic relationship and said that only his mom prevented him from giving up when he was ready to abandon his goals.
I threw the equipment in the garbage. Like, she dug it out of the garbage, put it on my bed, and she was like, don't give up on your dreams, some shit like that. And yeah, bro, like, shit, after that, like, I had to keep going.
Yeah. So did you wanted to quit back then? Like, what was that
I've been making music since like 2018. I've quit and came back to that shit so many times. It's like, I had like an abusive relationship with music, you know what I'm saying? Like,
now, she stopped him from making music, but she probably didn't intend that he'd be treated as a sideshow attraction by some. However, she likely takes pride in how he's being supported by others. Alongside the love of a whole lot of fans, he's had cosigns from Lil Yachty, and apparently, there's even talk of them working together.
First thing Lil Yachty told me, just normal nigga shit, him telling me to get a trainer, me telling him, get some new nail polish. We spoke on the phone, and the first thing he told me is like, your music is really good. It's like, it's different, I knew Juice WRLD, it reminds me of him, and we're gonna do an album together, so you just have to keep grinding, and I can't wait to work on it.
I think he could have success. I think he just, because his voice is good, but I don't like when rappers make songs where the chorus is 85% of the song. Like, it could be 50-50, right? But I want to hear some in between, right? Like, Still in the Paint by Denzel Curry is one where it's like the chorus is a big chunk of the song, but it's the chorus, then it's Denzel, then it's the chorus, then it's another rapper, then it's the chorus, then it's another rapper, and then the song ends. And that's like, it works, right, when you transition in that way. But if it's like, I can't put down the cup 9 times in a row, and then it's like you think he's gonna start rapping, and then it's I can't put down the cup another 9 times in a row. Like, what the fuck?
Likewise, SZA has shown love to him on social media.
There's been a lot of big artists that have reached out and shit. Like, just the other day, SZA liked my shit.
Yo,
fucking SZA.
SZA?
Hell yeah, SZA.
You did that video with Nirvan.
Yeah.
And she liked that video.
Yeah, she
yes,
did.
Yes,
That
she,
shit was
that
fire.
is huge.
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
How did you think that even reached her? Because she doesn't follow Nirvan.
I don't fucking know, man. People be saying I have a mythical For You page pull
Yeah?
and shit. I don't know.
Probably.
That could be what it is, man. But
Bro, I need to see you flick up with SZA. Like, that would be a
that would
moment.
be fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But amid all of this progress that he's making, the big problem is that the attention he gets from his weight comes with a higher price than just a few jokes. In recent months, Dave has been making repeated visits to the hospital, even trying to record from there to ensure that his momentum doesn't slow down too much. As he recently revealed, his health problems date back to his high school days, as he's always—
Bro, but he should be using the money that he's getting. Like, he could just do, if he has the talent to just make music, just let that carry you and use the money you're getting from fucking concerts and shit to pay for, like, a nutritionist and a trainer. And, like, actually, I don't know if he's doing that, but, like, he just needs to.
Why were you in the hospital?
I had like severe asthma. I think I was at school and I passed out and they couldn't wake me up, and I ended up having like pneumonia, some shit like that.
But as the strain of carrying that kind of excess weight continued to spiral out of control, he has already suffered life-threatening issues.
Yeah, bro, like, if he got COVID, he'd die. Like, if he got COVID and, like, the flu at the same time, he's dead. Like, he's not living that.
And at the age of 23, Dave has already come back from the brink of heart failure.
Yeah, I made that song while I was in the hospital. So I was actually in my hospital bed. My mom brought my studio equipment to the hospital, and shit, I was cooking up while I was in there, learned how to walk again and shit like that. Had a catheter in, all that shit.
Oh,
Why were you in the hospital?
Heart failure.
Damn.
Although he is under no illusion that the problem doesn't lie with him.
Is that something that you struggle with, or do you just love yourself and you're like, F it, this is who I am?
Yeah, I'd say it's something that I struggle with, yeah. But I'm working on it, you know what I'm saying? I plan, hopefully after this album drops, I can sign a deal and, then I'll have the money to, get a personal trainer, you know what I'm saying? All that shit.
Do you like overeat, or do you have more like a glandular thing going on?
Well, it's not a glandular thing. I don't know what that is. But
Well, it's like,
yeah, like a thyroid problem or some shit. I'm fast forwarding.
But the real danger to Dave's already rocky credibility is that not everyone is happy to take his image at face value, and that's because there's a whole lot of holes in his stories. One prime example came with his alleged girlfriend that appeared alongside him on stage at Rolling Loud. After images surfaced of the two, an apparent DM leaked where the girl in question denied being in a relationship with Dave and couldn't believe anyone actually thought that. But despite her making no further appearances on his Instagram, Dave has continued to act like they're together in his posts and interviews. I had to find out if my bitch out here fucking. She's not. We good, by the way. Then, during a recent call to No Jumper, he doubled down on the relationship being genuine. However, he sounded very nervous about—
Yeah, but he's just gonna get used, bro.
the prospect of her speaking out.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, no, I did not, man. I'm very respectful. That's my girl, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's your girl.
Disrespect her. Yeah, man, that's the love of my life, man.
Yeah, but she's fucking openly being ashamed of being with you.
These days, Dave is closely associated with the cough syrup. Apparently, he's even getting free lean because of it.
Oh, God, and he's smoking fucking cigarettes, dude. He's gonna die in 2 years. Like, he needs— oh, my God, he needs to fucking lose weight. They're smoking weed, drinking, and smoking cigarettes. And he's 550 pounds. Like, come on.
Big making music. Have you noticed that people try to tax you more for lean?
No, the opposite. I go to these studio sessions and they're like, here's a free pint. Just, they're giving me free lean. And this shit is unheard of. Nobody, they don't do that.
Yeah, that's— no, I've never heard anyone say that shit.
Like, I'm so serious on my life, on my mom's life.
Yeah, I watch Goblin.
They just give me—
I watch his videos where he just goes to random jails and bails people out. Hey, man, I'm bailing you out today. Do I know you? No. Bro, you just forked over $1,000 to bail me out? Yeah.
With so many question marks over what's real and what's fake, the effect of all this is that the general public just aren't buying it. After watching the interview, dude's whole life story is damn near a lie. Wherever you stand on Dave Blunt's, he is currently at the peak of his relevance to date. And clearly, many of those in the game think there's something special about him. For that reason,
dude, and part of like music producers and shit like that too, I don't know what his deals are, but most of those people like don't really give a fuck if you die because it just makes them more money. They have to give you less, and then also death makes people famous. It's like fucked up to say, but it's the same thing with like Biggie. There's like conspiracy theories about that shit with like Biggie Smalls and Tupac and all those guys, and how like they did like not necessarily like plotting for them to be killed, but I mean like wasn't who died with was it was either Tupac or no, I think it was Tupac. Wasn't Diddy in the car with Tupac when he got shot? Like that's not, I'm not like saying like that had anything to do with it or like that he like called a hit on him or anything, but like it makes them more famous when you die. I don't know. I hope he loses weight. I hope he continues his success. That was a fucking good video. All right, chat, I gotta call that there. I gotta skedaddle.